Hello everybody, it's Shirley, and today I'm talking about my in-depth year challenge, and this is the end of February and it is the month of fails. Very many successes, and the only bright side of it all is I'm still on track with my savings. I haven't damaged the savings too much. The book that started it all was this one called The Great Fairy Tale Tradition by Jack Zips, and this is the prescribed textbook for my writing course. I'm doing a degree in creative writing and I'm in second year, and the first semester of second year is writing fairy tales. It seems to be an interesting book about fairy tales and the history and the lore from a perspective of a scholar rather than for children. Also got, as well, to help with the writing, is this prompt book called by Robin Bean, and it's called Once Upon a Time in the 21st Century, and it is writing prompts to help with exercising the writing for fairy tale writing, or from a fairy tale perspective. So that should be an interesting book for the writing course. Still on the theme of fairy tales, I bought the Fairy Tale Oracle, the Enchanted Oracle, and it's by Lucy Cavendish, and the artwork is by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And this oracle goes through a few of the fairy tales, the main ones. I quite enjoy the artwork on this as well. The other book I got, which is in keeping with the Oracle, Fairy Tale Oracle, is also by Lucy Cavendish, and it's called Magical Tales, an enchanted collection of retold tales. And this is from a pagan perspective. It gives like a fairy tale story. So this one's Snow White. And this is a story. And then it gives the magical ways you can work with, say, the Snow White fairy tale. And there's a spell or something to work with that fairy tale in a magical way. And I found this really interesting, so it's a really nice book. It's a pretty book, and I was quite surprised by the size of it, and it is a hardback book as well. So that's the fairy tales items that I bought, and they will probably be a good help to my writing course. And the other fail was more books, which you know I do like. Now, every year here where I live, they have a big book fest, and this is all second-hand books. And this year they changed it to a different location, which made it easier for me to go to. And I didn't do too bad, really. This is from the last trip that I had. And they had, because they were finishing up for the year, they only have it for a couple of months. They had fill a bag for $15. So I thought, I'll go in there and have a look. And when I got to the counter, I got these books for $10. So that was a good buy. I have The Storyteller's Daughter by Cameron Doakey. And this is in the theme of fairy tale as well. I also have Tommy Glover's Sketch of Heaven by Jane Bailey. This is a period setting, and I do tend to keep the theme of books with the war period that I do like. This is one by Alice Hoffman called Blackbird House. And I'm reading Alice Hoffman's Magic Lessons, or I intend to read. I haven't gotten to that yet. But this looks like an interesting read as well. So that's Alice Hoffman's Blackbird House. I also bought The Memory Keeper's Daughter by Kim Edwards. And this one is not a reading novel like these. This is more non-fiction. It's called The Language of the Garden, and it's just a collected writings about the garden and flowers and all things like that, which obviously I do like. It's an anthology, and it's by Anne Scott James. The Language of the Garden. And it's published by Penguin Books. And of course, I cannot go past craft books. As you can see, they didn't seem to have quite a variety of craft books this year. It was more the magazines, which I suppose it was because it was getting towards the end of the book fest, and it was just starting to be pretty overpicked, but I did find some good ones. And this is called Stitch Vintage by Christine Book Designs, and it has a 1930s flair. I do like these embroideries with the crayon tinting. They do turn out so pretty. And these crinoline ladies, the patterns are all in here. There are some really pretty designs. I do like them, so I may end up making a few of them. So that is Stitch Vintage by Christine Book Designs. She has Q for Quilter has a lot of these you can print off as a PDF file, and she has a free embroidery patterns as well you can print off. So this is a fair age, this one, and I'm so happy to find it. Not that I quilt or anything, but I do have plans to make quilts. So there's a lot of how-to, and there are some really nice patterns in this one. And it's got the full-size templates. I think this one was published in the 70s, I think. I'm not sure. Could be. It's a reprint, obviously. But it was definitely printed in the 70s. Maybe the 60s. So that's Stitch and Patch quilts. The other one I come across, I have the cottage one of this sort of. They have quite a few of these books, and I think they did end up publishing them all together in a real big hardback book, if I remember correctly. But this is Favourite Farmyard Animals in Cross Stitch. I do like this rooster, so I'll probably end up doing this, and I do like this sampler. And this book is by Angela Beasley. I think it's Merhurst. Yeah, it's Merhurst Publishing. And obviously this is an older book from probably the 90s. But the designs are still pretty enough. This little pig is cute. And this duck, I do like this. These could be nice on tea towels. So there's a few designs in there I will probably end up doing. I also found Dale Burnett, a beautiful look that is really quite simple. Dale Burnett is obviously the 90s. If you're into cross-stitching, you will recognise the name and the style of the art. But I do like the cross-stitch designs. I may do one or two of them. They will look really nice on sachets, potpourri sachets, scented sachets. So there's that one, Dale Burnett, a beautiful look that is really quite simple. I'm looking for alphabets and things because I do want to work on my crazy quilt again. I haven't finished that, obviously. This is McCall's alphabet to embroider, and it's easy iron-on transfers. So this should be really helpful. And it's not, there's a few little test samples which will come in handy just to put in odd places on a crazy quilt. This is probably from the 70s because look at these. You can tell that's 70s, can't you? Yep, definitely 70s. Look at that skunk in there, isn't that cute? Oh, look at those mushrooms too. I think a lot of these embroideries would be suitable for today. They don't seem to go out of style, do they? So that's McCall's alphabet to embroider. I also found, really do not find cross-stitch magazines much. I guess everybody keeps them. But this is Quick and Easy. And this is from the 90s, obviously. It's a kitchen set I have plans to do. Yep, here it is. So I think these mushrooms would look really nice for the kitchen. And as we're coming into autumn here in Australia, it seems a suitable theme to work on. So that's Quick and Easy Cross Stitch from 1997, and it's the October issue, so there'll be some, there are some elements of for autumn and things like that. I do like this though too as well. That's obviously Joe Verso. I found the Cross Stitch Teddies by Jane Elliott. There's some pretty designs in here, really nice. And obviously Jane Elliott has a distinctive style, so you know what Jane Elliott designed because of the style, or at least I do. But, I'm glad I picked this book up. I was in two minds not to, but I ended up picking it up anyway. So that's Cross Stitch Teddies by Jane Elliott. That's what I got from the last week of the from Lifeline. They do it every year. So I will be back next year having a look. We shall see, maybe. The reading that I wanted to do for the month of February wasn't going so well. I'm reading The Fellowship of the Rings by Tolkien, and I'm only halfway through. Not even halfway through. You know, it's a slow read. I think it's slowing down because I do have my course that I've started. and there's a lot of reading involved with the other units that I have to do. But I'm going through it. I guess I can wrap up here and call it finished. And I shall see you in my next video. So, thank you for watching. Bye.